Hi, if you're here, maybe your heart feels a little heavy tonight. Maybe you've loved someone you never got to say everything to, or maybe you're still holding on to a memory that never really faded. This is for you. These are letters that were never sent. Some are real, some imagined. All of them are filled with the quiet ache of love that never found the right words or never got the chance. They're for the almosts, the goodbyes that weren't said, the people who changed us even if they didn't stay. So find a soft place to land, let the world fade out, and let these stories keep you company. To the stranger who knew my soul. Dear you, I've been thinking about you again. Isn't it strange? How two people can share so much, and yet know so little about each other's real lives. We never talked about the small things, where we lived, what we did every day, what our families were like. We skipped over the surface entirely, but somehow we dove straight into the deep end. We shared the things that live in silence, the dreams that kept us awake, the fears we never dared say out loud to anyone else, the versions of ourselves we hid from the world. With you, I was the most honest I've ever been, and yet I couldn't pick you out of a crowd. I don't know the sound of your voice. I've never seen your handwriting. I don't know what color the sky was the last time you cried. Sometimes I wonder what happened, why it stopped. There was no fight, no goodbye, just the slow fading of a light I thought would always be there. And the strangest thought keeps coming back to me. If something happened to either of us, would the other ever know? There's a kind of grief in that. A hollow, quiet grief. But maybe what we had was real in its own way. Maybe connection isn't measured by how much you know about someone's life, but how deeply you've touched their spirit. You knew me, not the version the world sees, not the facts of my biography, but the person underneath. I don't know if you still think of me, if you ever wonder what could have been. But sometimes, when the night gets quiet, I send a thought out into the ether, like a message in a bottle. I remember you. I hope you're dreaming beautiful things. Love, the stranger who knew you. To the boy on the mountain, dear you. I don't know why you still cross my mind. Maybe it's the cold weather lately, or the way the snow looked falling past the streetlights last night. It reminded me of that day on the mountain. You were wearing goggles too big for your face, and talking about how our phones were tracking everything we did. I remember laughing. I thought you were a little bit insane. But now, I'm not so sure. You were always ahead of your time, weren't you? Seeing patterns in things the rest of us hadn't noticed yet. You weren't trying to impress anyone. You just saw the world differently, like you were tuned to a different frequency. I wonder what station you're on now. Are you still chasing those wild dreams of yours? Did you ever build that off-the-grid cabin you used to talk about, with no Wi-Fi and walls full of books? Did you find someone who understood the way you carried silence like it was something sacred? I don't remember how we ended, not really. There was no fight, no final conversation, just space and time and oceans. You told me once that you weren't good at goodbyes. I didn't realize then that would be our goodbye. I still haven't been to the zoo with anyone else. Isn't that strange? It's not like it was a life-changing day or anything, but maybe that's the thing. We weren't doing anything remarkable, and somehow that made it unforgettable. Sometimes I try to replay it all, the way you looked at the edge of the lift line, snow melting on your lashes, grinning like you knew something the rest of the world hadn't figured out yet. I guess you've become a kind of mystery to me, a half-finished thought, a name I still search for sometimes, even though I know I won't find you. Wherever you are, I hope you're warm. I hope your thoughts still burn bright and strange, and I hope that, somehow, when the wind howls across a snowy peak, you think of me too. Love, the girl from the chairlift. To the one who called me special, dear you, you once told me I was a very special girl. I still hear those words sometimes when I'm lying awake at night. We didn't know each other long, not really, but somehow it felt like we had lived lifetimes in the short time we shared. It happened so fast, like a fever dream I was too caught up in to question. We connected deeply, instantly. You cracked something open in me, made me think about things I'd never considered before. You challenged the way I saw the world and the way I saw myself, and then it ended. There was no explosion, no betrayal, just this strange empty space where something bright had once been. I couldn't quite explain the sadness at first. We hadn't known each other that long, but still, I felt it. It was like I had to mourn a future we got too excited about too quickly, a version of us that never really got to exist. And maybe that's what hurts the most, not what we lost, but what we almost had. I wonder if you think about it too. If you ever pause in the middle of your day and feel that same quiet missing piece, I wonder if I left an imprint on your life, even half as deep as the one you left on mine, because I still carry you, in the things you made me question, in the way you made me feel, both seen and slightly undone. I don't know what we were, but I know it mattered. Love, the girl who still wonders. To the boy on the 116 bus, dear you, you never knew my name, and I never knew yours. But for 7 months we shared the same bench seat near the back of the 116 bus. You always wore that olive green jacket, even when it was too warm for it. You kept a paperback in your hand but never turned the pages. I think you just liked holding it, like it made the silence less heavy. We never spoke. Not once. Not even a hello. But there was a strange kind of ritual between us. You would nod when I got on. I would shift to make space, and somehow, in that tiny act, we became something. I started looking forward to you, not in a grand sweeping way, but in that quiet aching way you miss a favorite song before it's even over. I imagined your life, wondered what your voice sounded like, what kind of music you listened to, what kind of person you were when no one was watching. And then, one night, your seat was empty. I waited a few days thinking maybe you were sick, or late, or just needed a different route. But the days passed. The bus rolled on, and you didn't come back. I still sit in that same seat, and every night I wonder if you remember me too. The girl with the red scarf and the chipped headphones. The one who never said a word, but always waited for you. I guess I'll never know who you were, but I'll remember you. Always. Love, the girl from the bus. To my safe place. Dear you, you had always been my soft place to land, my shelter when the world felt too loud. You were the quiet breath after the storm, the stillness I didn't know I was allowed to have. I think if I said everything I really wanted to say, it would make something inside you break, and you've already held too much, so this letter will stay unwritten, at least for now. Just know, I carry you with me, in the way I exhale when things get hard, in the way I talk to myself a little more gently now. You made me feel safe, and loved, and real. And maybe that's enough. Love me. To the one who grew up with me. Dear you, I don't know when we stopped being part of each other's lives. I guess it happened the way most things do when you're young, slowly and then all at once. But before that, you were everything. You were the first person I told my secrets to, the first hand I reached for in the dark, the first face I looked for in a crowd, even when the crowd was just our tiny schoolyard. We built forts out of sheets and futures out of dreams. You once told me we'd live on the same street when we were older. You even drew a map. And for a long time I believed it. You were more than a friend. But we were too young to have the words for what we were. Too young to know that not all love has to be romantic to leave a mark. But we grew up, we changed, and life pulled us in different directions like the tide. Still, there are days I swear I feel your presence. When I pass by a pine tree and remember how you used to climb them barefoot. When I hear that old song we danced to in the kitchen on your birthday. You are the echo in so many of my memories. I don't know who you are now, what you do, who you love, but I hope someone holds your hand the way I used to. I hope someone listens to your wild ideas and tells you they're brilliant. I hope someone sees the magic in you the way I always did. And if, by some strange twist of the universe, you ever think of me, just know I never forgot. Love, the kid from the other side of the fence. To the quiet ones who've always been there, dear you, you probably don't expect a letter. You've never asked for anything. You've never demanded to be in the spotlight. You've just been there, in the background, steady as a heartbeat. We don't talk every day. We don't always know what's going on in each other's lives. Sometimes weeks or months pass, but when we find our way back, it's seamless, like no time passed at all. You've never needed me to perform my pain or my joy. You just hold space, quietly, lovingly. And even though we don't exchange long, emotional confessions or late-night check-ins every week, your presence in my life is like moonlight through the blinds. Subtle, soothing, constant. You're the kind of person who shows up when it matters, who doesn't need an invitation to care. And even though we're not dating and we don't know the minute details of each other's days, my love for you is very real. It lives in the way I think of you when something funny happens, in the comfort I feel when I see your name light up my phone. I don't say it enough, maybe I never have, but you are such an important part of my life. Thank you for always being there in that quiet, gentle way that only you can be. I carry you in my heart. Always. Love me. To the fire I couldn't hold, dear you, I still don't know what to call what we had. Was it love? Obsession? A mirror? A warning? You were like a fever I didn't know I had. Intoxicating, overwhelming, impossible to ignore. I've never felt anything so intense before. And maybe that was the problem. You cracked open parts of me I didn't know existed. You showed me beauty I didn't believe was real, and darkness I never thought I'd touch. Being with you felt like standing at the edge of a cliff and flying and falling at the same time. I never knew if I was safe or just moments away from breaking. Some nights you made me feel like the only person in the world. Other nights I felt like a ghost in your orbit, floating, weightless, erased. You brought out things in me I didn't recognize. Some of them I loved. Some of them I'm still trying to forgive. I don't know if you were good for me. I don't know if I was good for you. But I know I felt alive, terrifyingly, beautifully alive. And now that it's over, I don't know whether to call it a gift or a warning. Maybe you were just another lesson I was meant to learn. Maybe we were never meant to last, just burn briefly and brightly before going dark. But I'll never forget the way it felt, the way you felt. Love, the girl who couldn't hold the fire. To the one who loved me without words. Dear you, you don't understand letters. You'll never read this, never know the words I'm stringing together for you, but you've always known me in ways no one else ever could. You've been there through it all, through every breakup, when I couldn't breathe from the weight of a goodbye, through the nights I cried on the floor, thinking everything was falling apart, through my parents' divorce, when the world felt like it cracked open, and nothing felt safe, and somehow you knew. You always knew. You'd curl up beside me, press your warm little body against mine like a soft shield. You'd look at me with those eyes that didn't need language, just presence. You didn't ask for explanations. You didn't try to fix anything. You just stayed. And in a world that was constantly shifting, you stayed. I've grown up with you, loved and lost and changed with you sleeping beside me. You've been my constant in a life full of turning pages. I know our time is limited. I know. I see it in the gray in your face, in the way you rise a little slower now. And even though I try not to think about it, some nights I do. I wonder how I'll breathe without you beside me. But right now, you're still here, still watching me with those calm, loving eyes, still thumping your tail when I walk into the room like I'm the best part of your day. You have been my best friend, my comfort, my family. And when the time comes, and I hope it's not for a long, long while, please know this. You were the purest love I've ever known, and I couldn't have done any of it without you. Love, your girl. To the first one who felt like home. Dear you, you were my first real love. Not the kind written in notebooks or whispered about in passing, but the kind that wraps around you like a blanket when you're far from everything you've ever known. We were so young, away from home, trying to figure out who we were, and somehow we found each other. You became my comfort, my family, my safe space. I think I always knew what love was, but you showed me what it felt like. It felt like your hoodie that always smelled like you, like your hand in my hair, the warmth of your body at night, the quiet moments we shared just existing in the same space, like your voice saying, "Hey, I'm here." You were my protector, my partner, my man. And even now, in your presence, that feeling of being protected and taken care of by you still lingers in the air, like no time has passed, like I'm 19 again, walking into your arms, like they're the only place I've ever belonged. I'll never forget what you gave me. You showed me how it's supposed to feel, how love is more than words or grand gestures. It's in the way someone shows up for you again and again, without needing to be asked. Thank you for loving me the way you did, for taking care of me, for being the first place I ever called home. I carry you with me, always. Love, the girl you made brave. To me, dear you, you've been through so much, and I don't say that to reopen the wounds. I say it to honor them, because I've watched you carry it all with trembling hands and the kind of strength no one sees until it's been tested. I know there are parts of you that still ache, memories that linger, mistakes you can't seem to stop apologizing for, even in silence. But I want you to know this: I forgive you for the moments you gave too much, for the times you thought love meant shrinking, for all the ways you were trying to survive. I see you now, and I'm so proud. I'm proud of the person you are, and I'm proud of the one you're still becoming. I'm proud that you choose kindness, even though you've lived through things that could have hardened you. I'm proud that you stand by what you believe in, that you have ethics and morals, and you live by them even when no one's watching. I'm proud that you think for yourself, that you don't let the world tell you who to be, that you've learned to make your own decisions with quiet confidence. I'm proud of how you approach people with understanding, with patience, with grace. I'm proud that you carry yourself with integrity, even when it would be easier not to. You don't hurt others just to protect yourself. You don't step on people just to stand taller. You've made yourself into someone deeply good, and even on the days when it doesn't feel like enough, I promise you it is. I love you. Not just the polished parts, but the messy ones too. The trying, the doubting, the dreaming. I love the way you keep going, even when you're tired. I love the way you carry so much and still offer your heart like it's whole. You're going to be okay. You're already more than okay. And when the world gets heavy, just remember, I'll be right here, loving you, believing in you, always. Love me. Thank you for listening. If your heart feels full or a little bruised, I hope these words reminded you that you're not alone. Love, even when unspoken, leaves something behind. A lesson, a memory, a shift in the way we carry ourselves. And sometimes the people we couldn't keep are the ones who shaped us the most. So to all the love you never got to say, I hope you know it still mattered. Sweet dreams and good night.